presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
We are back from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There was some rain in the area earlier today. The roof is all closed up, but we are open now and set to go. Diamondbacks looking for a win tonight, the third of this four-game series. It's the D-backs and the Brewers on Fox Sports Arizona. And good evening from Miller Park. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. Diamondbacks and Brewers tonight. Jimmy Nelson goes for Milwaukee. And Archie Bradley for the Diamondbacks. Bob, last time out at Cincinnati, Archie walked a season-high 5. The walks are starting to pile up.
Yeah, I mean, Archie's shown an amazing ability to pitch out of jams. Unfortunately, he pitches himself into a lot of jams. He's walked 30 batters over his last 57 innings. I don't think there's any doubt that Archie's come a long way since his major league debut and still has a ways to go, and one of the big things he needs to do is cut down on those walks.
What have you seen from Archie that you've liked?
The attitude on the mound, the poise, the battling attitude with runners on base. The spiked curve has been a really good pitch for him, either to steal a strike one or to get a swinging strike in the dirt. But just needs to find a way to keep that fastball in and around the zone more frequently.
So the polishing continues for Archie Bradley. In the meantime, Jimmy Nelson for the Brewers. This guy throws a lot of sinkers.
A lot of sinkers. He also has a spiked curveball and a slider that he will use. But when he's good, he puts the ball on the ground an awful lot. Going to be important for the Diamondbacks hitters to try to force him to get the ball up in the zone. Don't swing at anything from mid-thigh down.
Jimmy Nelson, top 20 in the National League in ground ball percentage. So we are set to go. Game 3 of 4. The Diamondbacks and the Brewers. First pitch is coming up from Miller Park in Milwaukee on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. By Tire Pros. For the best selection of Continental and General brand tires, visit your local Arizona Tire Pros today. By Mattress Firm. Save money, sleep happy. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. Sports Arizona is brought to you by Lone View Casino. Get in on big wins. By your Valley Chevy dealers. Find a great deal on select 2016 vehicles at the Chevy Summer Sell Down. Visit your Valley Chevy dealer now. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And by Gigablast, 100 times more powerful internet from Cox. Bring on tomorrow. The Riverwalk area, downtown Milwaukee. We're inside Miller Park and just about set to go. Archie Bradley and Jimmy Nelson, the Diamondbacks and the Brewers. First pitch when we come back. Well, it's another beautiful night in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Everything opened up, roofed the outfield panels. We are good to go, 78 degrees. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you. It's the Diamondbacks and the Brewers, the third of a four-game series. Jimmy Nelson and Archie Bradley, your pitching matchup tonight. Your Valley Chevy lineup for Chip Hale's Diamondbacks.
Looks an awful lot like last night's lineup. Michael Bourne at the top in left field. Phil Gosselin red hot at the plate. He'll be at second base tonight. Gene Segura hitting third at shortstop. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Wellington Castillo doing the catching. Yasmani Tomas out in right field. Chris Owings in center. Brandon Drury down at third base. And right-hander Archie Bradley on the mound.
And your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Brewers is Jimmy Nelson, 27-year-old right-hander out of the University of Alabama. A former second-round pick by the Brewers. Nelson, for the most part, is pitching pretty well this year, a 3.40 ERA, and fewer hits allowed than innings pitched. He will get into trouble from time to time with bases on balls. He is walking more batters this year than ever before.
Yeah, I had a bad month of June in 5 starts, went 0-3 with an ERA just under 6. But other than that, he's been pretty solid this year. We talked about it earlier, that heavy sinking fastball, gets a lot of grounders. Will also throw an occasional four-seam fastball, the spike curve, a slider, and the changeup's an interesting pitch for him. If he throws one and it gets hit, he won't throw another one the rest of the game. If he throws one and gets a swing and a miss, he may use it more throughout the ball game. Something to keep an eye on.
Well, let's keep our eye on the Brewers defensively now. Our eye on defense, as always, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Ryan Braun out in left field. Keon Broxton in center field. Kirk Neuenhuis out in right field. Hernan Perez down at third base. Jonathan Villar at short. Scooter Ryan Joseph Jeanette at second base. Chris Carter at first. Jonathan Lucroy doing the catching for Jimmy.
One of the better strike callers behind the plate tonight, a personal favorite, Adrian Johnson. Chad Whitson at first, the crew chief Gary Cederstrom at second, and Jim Wolf is at third. Michael Bourne in left field tonight. He'll lead it off, and we are set to go from Milwaukee, the D-backs and the Brewers. Michael Bourne, 267 and 2 home runs, 2 hits and an RBI in this series. He has struck out 3 times. One thing to watch for with Jimmy Nelson, you might remember last year he really struggled in the first inning. His first inning ERA last season was over 6.5, by far his highest in any inning. But now he has reversed that trend. This year his first inning ERA is 1.80, and he's given up only 5 first inning runs all year.
Well, we've seen a lot of this delivery out of the windup.
On a ground ball to second base for Scooter Gennett, 1 away. Time now, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, hopefully at the end of the game we'll hear this. Jimmy's not happy. Jimmy didn't throw well.
Jimmy's down.
Jimmy's down.
Don't touch Jimmy.
I was just about to say his delivery we've seen a lot of recently. A lot of pitchers have gone to this kind of abbreviated windup where they start with their toe of their foot facing third base rather than home plate. Just kind of shortens the entire delivery out of the windup, gets him in a better throwing position a little bit quicker.
Just can't get Phil Gosselin out of the lineup these days. He's in there again tonight at second base, and he takes a strike. 277 and 1 homer for Phil. He's got 3 hits in the series. He doubled last night.
Been wearing out the right side of the field.
There's a chopper to shortstop. Jonathan Villar will come in, has some trouble getting it out of his glove, and Gosselin beats it out. Couldn't quite get a grip on the baseball. Jonathan Villar at shortstop.
I got to it in good shape, just couldn't find the handle when he went into the glove. Right there, everything looks pretty good. Oops, lost the ball, re-grips, and by the time he gets it over to Chris Carter, Phil Gosselin has legged it out.
They put an error up on the board. E6 puts Gosselin in first with 1 out for Gene Segura, the former Brewer.
Yeah, tip of the cap to Phil Gosselin for running that out hard. Broken bat grounder right to the shortstop. A lot of guys would have just gone 75% down that first base line, conceding the out, but not Phil Gosselin.
Jimmy Nelson throws another first pitch strike to Segura, who's hitting .314 with 8 home runs. Nelson has solved his first inning issues this year, but that earned run average does go up for Nelson through each of the first 4 innings, so you can get to him the second or third time through the order like a lot of guys. But that's a pretty impressive adjustment he's made. An ERA over 6 in the first inning last year, under 2 this year.
Some of the D-back starting pitchers ought to investigate what Jimmy Nelson is doing differently this year.
Jimmy's got it figured out.
Jimmy's got it figured out, and that's been a problem for the Diamondback starters that first inning, especially after their team gives them some runs in the top of the inning.
Another chance for Villar, the backhander, and he throws it away. It's all the way down the right field line. Gosselin stops at third, Segura in at second. Neuenhuis can't pick it up, and here comes Phil, and he scores. Oh, the Brewers throwing it all over the ball field here tonight, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks.
I think there has to be at least 2 errors on that play. Villar's bad throw to second base, obviously an error right here on the shortstop. And then Neuenhuis picks it up and drops it down the right field line. Gosselin had stopped over there at third base, but when he saw Neuenhuis juggling that ball in foul territory, he comes on down the line and scores the first run of the game.
Very sloppy start for Milwaukee. A run is in. Segura is at third. Still just 1 out for Paul Goldschmidt.
The official scorekeeper is still trying to sort that one out.
That one might take a while. Goldie 295 and 17 homers. 5 for 10 in the series, all singles. He's knocked in 2 runs. Well, they have 3 errors up on the board now for Milwaukee, so you're right, Bob, at least 2 there.
get a little concerned when a guy has 2 errors in 1 inning. He's challenging my record.
They gave Gene Segura a single on that. So it's E6, another error on VR on that throw to second base that went into right field. And then another error, E9, on Nieuwenhuis, who bobbled the ball out there trying to pick it up. So a single, E6, and E9.
Wow.
And a 2-1 count to Goldie. Three and one.
3 hits in game 1 of the series for Goldie, 2 last night, but he's yet to homer here at Miller Park. There's something wrong.
He's due. Three balls and 2 strikes. Jimmy Nelson coming off a loss in his previous start. Wellington Castillo would be next. Nelson last Friday against the Cubs here at Miller Park. 4 runs, 4 hits. He lasted only 5 innings. He has won only once in his last 9 starts. Ball 4. 3 errors and a base on balls for the Brewers in the top of the first. 2 on, 1 out for Beef Wellington. Bases on balls have been an issue for Jimmy Nelson this year. 258, 11 homers for Castillo. Nelson has walked at least 4 batters in a ball game 6 times. So that's his first walk tonight. Segura is at third, Goldie at first. 1 out for Castillo. Base hit into center. Segura will score, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Castillo with a ringing double into the gap in left center last night in his first at bat of the ball game. This time a clean single up the middle. Keep the line moving.
Well, next up in line, Yasmani Tomas, who is having a terrific road trip. 259 on the year and 15 homers. Tomas 2 hits in the series. He doubled and had an RBI Monday. Singled and walked last night. 2 on, 1 out, 2 runs in. Boy, Goldie really bouncing around back there behind Jimmy Nelson. Goldie's always animated on the bases, but it looks like he's got ants in his pants out there. Really jumping up and down and creating a distraction.
Well, in our conversations with Dave McKay talking about opposing pitchers and can you run on this guy? What kind of move does he have? Occasionally he'll say, well, he's tough at first, but if we get a runner to second, you can run on it. Maybe that's the case here tonight. Jimmy Nelson's given up 15 stolen bases this year. We saw Goldie break for second base last night while Matt Garza was just standing on the mound.
It's always something to think about. We always tend to think of the pitcher in terms of the move to first base, but second base is a whole different animal oftentimes. 1-1 to Yasmani Tomas. Yasmani 7 hits on this road trip, including 3 doubles and a pair of homers. He's got Goldie at second, Castillo at first. A ball and 2 strikes. Another nice block by Jonathan Lucroy back there, and it's 2-2. See the way he started out in that position. There might not be another catcher in the major leagues who's able to get as small and shrink himself back there in front of that umpire as well as Jonathan Lucroy.
Oh yeah, it almost looks like he's hiding behind his mitt. He really gets small back there behind the plate.
Small and low. Look at that. He just kind of shrinks into a little ball. Adrian Johnson has a nice view of that pitch. That one's chop foul. Lucroy is also a master pitch framer back there. Just very small, very quiet, almost motionless. And he'll get a lot of strike calls from the umpire behind him because of that.
And this year he's thrown extremely well. He's caught 38% of the attempted base stealers.
He's thrown out more base stealers than any catcher in baseball. Another 2-2 to Tomas. This is a drive deep left center field. That ball is going. It is going, and it is gone. The road trip continues for El Tanque Yasmani Tomas. That's his 16th, and it's 5-0 Diamondbacks. Eight hits on the road trip, 3 doubles and 3 homers.
A rare extended at bat by Yasmani Tomas, and ultimately gets a pitch he can handle down and in and golfs it out of here to left center field. Stay hot. Now, Ryan Braun has seen enough balls hit in that direction. He just gave it a cursory jog over toward the gap. Keon Broxton thought he might have a play on it. That ball was way out of here.
It's a jumbo jack, and it's tacos for everybody. 5 runs and only 1 out so far. Here's CO, and there's a strike.
That might be a record for quickest tacos.
It might be. You're right. What a road trip for Yasmani. Chris Owings hits it to VR. He's already got 2 errors in the inning. He throws them out, 2 down. Eighth man to bat in the Diamondback first, the third baseman tonight, Brandon Drury. Drury 263 and 9 homers. He doubled and struck out twice last night, walked in his only plate appearance Monday. A lot of players, when you take batting practice on the road, you hit after the home team, so there's some downtime in the clubhouse while the home team hits. And oftentimes guys are in there with their feet up, relaxing, just trying to have a moment. Brandon Drury today was out, the only guy in the Diamondback dugout all by himself, watching all the Brewer hitters hit. He watched Braun, he watched Lucroy, some of their better players, just trying to pick things up. He is just hardwired for baseball that way.
And when he's not out here on the field watching the opposing team take batting practice, he's in the video room checking out that night's pitcher, maybe checking out some guys in the bullpen that he might face later in the ballgame.
Hernan Perez throws him out, and that's the end of the inning, but the Diamondbacks put up a 5 spot. Archie Bradley coming up. We're at Miller Park in Milwaukee. A little sloppy start for the Brewers. VR has 2 errors in the inning. They commit 3. Diamondbacks get 5. Archie Bradley coming up. That is the Milwaukee Art Museum. How about that building? The building is artwork.
Yeah, that's where they keep the coloring books. Just kidding.
Special section for that, sure. Your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks is Archie Bradley. 3-6 in 13 starts. The ERA just under 4.5. As we talked about at the top of the show, the command has been Archie's biggest problem as of late. A season high 5 walks in 5 innings in his previous start. That was a loss Friday at Cincinnati.
His last 4 starts, he's gone 3-2-3-5. Hopefully he'll reverse that trend here tonight. Make the Brewers earn those bases.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Well, here's a guy that had a bumpy first inning, committed 2 of the 3 Milwaukee errors in the top half of the inning. The shortstop, Jonathan Villar, and he looks at strike 1. Villar batting .295 with 8 home runs. 3 hits and 3 RBIs in the series. He has doubled and homered. 1-1.
What was that?
Villar leads the major leagues, 36 stolen bases. He's got 10 steals this month alone. So keep him off the base paths if you can. It's 2-2.
We talked about that before game 1 of this series. Craig Counsell likes to turn his quicker runners loose on the bases when he gets opportunities. Might not do so tonight, trailing by 5 early.
Shoots that one down the left field line, but it's out of play. Archie Bradley, after his previous start, that loss to the Reds, said one thing that kind of summed up his season, which has seen a lot of progress and a lot of things about which to be encouraged, but even he admits time after time he just keeps putting himself in bad situations. And he knows he's got to find a way to get out of that pattern and pitch like everybody knows that he can. He's done a very good job of getting himself out of trouble, but the point obviously not to get yourself in trouble. And he's gone full to the leadoff man. Villar sends it out to left field. Michael Bourne backing up, and it's over his head. Michael never did seem to pick that one up, and Villar is in with a leadoff double. Your Valley Chevy lineup for Craig Counsell's Milwaukee Brewers.
Jonathan Villar on at second base with that leadoff double. Scooter Gennett making his way to the plate right now. Ryan Braun, Jonathan Lucroy, Chris Carter, Kirk Neuenhuis, Hernan Perez, Keon Broxton, and Jimmy Nelson.
Jimmy's batting 9th. Scooter Gennett, the second baseman. He's got a pair of 2-hit games in the series so far. He's homered and knocked in 4. Gennett had 3 RBIs last night. Villar the leadoff double.
Gennett has had a weird series. Hit a home run off the scoreboard in center field, and then twice hit pop-ups that nobody could catch in the infield. One was 32 miles an hour exit velocity off the bat.
Boy, that pitch that he had against Daniel Hudson last night, Huddy did a real good job getting that in on him, and he just fought it off and dunked it into no man's land. Just added to Daniel's frustration last night.
And the day before against Dominic Leone, he took a full swing and hit the ball about an inch above his hands, hit a little blooper right over the mound that Dominic Leone and Gene Segura ran into each other trying to make a play on.
Well, they've been dropping in for Scooter. He's hit safely in 5 straight. He's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Here's Archie Bradley, just what we talked about, getting himself into trouble. Behind on Gennett, 3-0. 4-pitch walk to Scooter Gennett. Our eye on defense for the Diamondbacks is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Chris Owings once again in center field. He'll be flanked by Michael Bourne in left, Yasmani Tomas in right. It'll be Drury and Segura on the left side of the infield with Goslin and Goldschmidt on the right side. Wellington Castillo behind the plate again for right-hander Archie Bradley.
And those bases on balls have been a recurring problem for Archie. He's walked 30 batters in his last 57 innings. And despite the walks he's done for the most part, a good job of pitching his way out of big trouble, but right away handed a 5-0 lead. 2 on, nobody out for Ryan Braun, and he's right back in trouble.
Yeah, among pitchers that have faced at least 80 batters this year, Archie Bradley's held the opponents to a 130 batting average with runners in scoring position. That's second among all pitchers.
Braun 4th in the National League in hitting at .324. And he has been on base virtually the entire series to this point. He's got 3 hits and he's walked 4 times. There's a strike, 0-1. Archie ahead 0-2 in a familiar spot here. As a result of having to work out of trouble so often lately, he's almost always, it seems, Bob, having to pitch from the stretch. And that's tiring. It's more effort. It's more stress. It's more high leverage pitches and innings. And it seems like he's been pitching out of the stretch the entire year. Archie was saying he thinks he's had maybe 1 inning in the last 3 starts where he's worked the entire inning out of the windup, and he's probably right.
Most pitchers can generate a little more velocity pitching out of the windup as opposed to the stretch. So far, it looks like Archie's getting it up there pretty good out of the stretch. He's hit 93 here in this inning.
Two and 2 on Ryan Braun. Well, Archie says if you're pitching out of the stretch, you're constantly thinking, constantly working, trying to make that perfect pitch to get out of an inning. And here he is. He finds himself right back in that spot.
Yeah, not to mention you have to be concerned with the base runners. The Brewers are a team that likes to run. Not likely to do so with Braun and Lucroy coming to the plate trailing by 5 runs, but certainly something you have to keep in the back of your mind as a pitcher.
Jonathan Villar at second, Scooter Gennett at first. Nobody out. 2 and 2 on Ryan Braun. There go the runners, and Braun shoots it out to right. Tomas is there. He's got it. Gennett has to hurry up and get back to the bag, and he just does get back safely. You were talking about Craig Counsell likes to start his base runners out there.
It almost looked like a hit and run there. The runners took off, both guys checking what was going on at home plate. Woo, man, I don't know. A little meeting on the mound here to give Alan Campbell an opportunity to take a couple of looks at this play at first base. Obviously Goldie not on the bag, but did he get the tag on Gennett? Yeah, before the foot on the base.
You bet he did. And the headsets are coming on. Diamondbacks will challenge the call. Looked like from that angle Tomas made a good throw and Goldie made a good swipe tag there. Here's another look.
Well, Chad Whitson not in a great position to see what's going on over there. The umpires had rotated around on that particular play, and he's trying to run back, get into the picture. I don't think he could see that entire play from where he was.
Now you can see the second base umpire, the crew chief Gary Cederstrom, coming over there on the rotation and making that call. Now the headsets are on with Jim Wolf down there. You always forget that when the ball is hit into the play, the umpires have their own shifts, right? Everybody rotates.
With runners on base especially. That time the first base umpire went out to make sure there was a catch in right field. And as you said, the second base umpire was rotating over to make the call at first base. There's always something going on when a ball is hit either down the lines or in the gaps and runners are on base.
It seems so much of the job of umpiring is about positioning.
That certainly helps if you can get yourself into a position where you can see everything you need to see to make the call correctly. And sometimes because of the rotation, you just can't get there quickly enough.
Archie Bradley going to throw a few warm-ups here while we wait for New York to have a look. He is out at first. Good challenge by Alan Campbell and the Diamondbacks. Jeanette is out. 9-3 on the putout.
Well, I'd already written it in my book. That's how sure I was we were going to get that one.
Nice.
Tomas's throw just a little bit offline at first base, but Goldie comes off the bag. Quick swipe tag on Jeanette before he could get the foot on the base.
So very quickly, it's 1 on and 2 outs for Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher, with VR still at first. Lucroy batting .301. He's got 13 home runs. He's knocked in 50 this year.
Jonathan Lucroy has a little OCD about the shoulders on his uniform, especially the right shoulder. He'll touch that right shoulder several times before he's ready to swing that bat. He'll tug at it with his right hand. He'll tug at it with his left hand. He'll take the hands off the bat while he's standing in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's just that one shoulder.
It's that Chris Sale syndrome. He's just not comfortable in this uniform.
Well, 0-2.
And he gives the left shoulder a little bit of love, but he really gets after it on that right shoulder.
Well, whatever he does, it works. He's hitting
Yeah.
.320 in his last 50 games, Jonathan Lucroy, an all-star this year. He's just not going to let it go. Maybe there's a loose thread or something.
Oh, brother.
1-2.
He would probably do well to wear the vest that the Diamondbacks used to wear.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Won't have to worry about those sleeves.
I'm not sure he'd be able to take it. Like, it's just relentless. It's like there's a bug on his shoulder. VR takes off for third. The throw from Castillo, and they got him. Oh, what an inning for the Brewers. They commit 3 errors in the top half. They run into 2 outs on the bases in the bottom half. And Archie Bradley is through the first. Jonathan VR makes the final out of the inning at third base. That's a no-no. 5-0 Diamondbacks. Milwaukee Brewers. Diamondbacks taking advantage. They lead at 5-0. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Look around the rest of the National League West. Padres won in Toronto today. Dodgers were beaten at home by the Rays. Giants lost at home to the Reds, and Colorado leads at Baltimore. Strike one to Archie Bradley to lead off the second from Jimmy Nelson. Archie batting ninth tonight.
Now that Baltimore-Colorado game, Dylan Bundy, oh, that one's down the line.
That's a fair ball. Archie shoots it down the right field line. It's in the corner. Nieuwenhuis can't pick it up. He's already got one error tonight, and Archie hustles in there with a double. Let's see if they give Nieuwenhuis an error and rule that a single. Another bobble out there along the line for Kirk Nieuwenhuis.
Yeah, we kind of lost sight of Nieuwenhuis when he got over against the wall in the right field corner there, past Chris Carter. Yeah, right there, we kind of lost him. Weren't sure what happened, but Archie Bradley saw the bobble, turned it on, and hard slide into second base. Just to complete that thought, Dylan Bundy had a perfect game through 5 innings. Nick Hundley with a 2-run homer for the Rockies.
Dylan Bundy, very high draft pick several years ago by the Orioles, who's just been really plagued by injuries, but a very promising young pitcher. Michael Bourne bunts that one foul. Michael grounded out to lead off the ball game. He's 0 for 1. Jimmy Nelson this year relying on that sinker much more than ever before. He's not a strikeout pitcher. He's a pitch to contact type guy. And he rings up Michael Bourne there. That's his first strikeout tonight.
That spike curve similar to Archie Bradley's knuckle curve, straight down. 12-6 break. That one may have just nipped the outside corner there on Michael Bourne, who continues to have every borderline call go against him.
It is amazing. Phil Gosselin reached on an error and scored his first time up. Jimmy Nelson used to throw that curveball a lot last year. He's only throwing it about half as much this year. The ground ball rate for Nelson, 48%. That puts him top 20 in the National League. And there you can see the difference. He's throwing that two-seam sinker a lot more this year, more than half the time, in fact, and he's only throwing that curveball about half as much.
You know, for pitchers who can throw both fastballs, that's the natural evolution. You realize that it's a lot easier to throw one pitch and get a ground ball than it is to throw 3 four-seamers and try to strike a guy out.
Yeah, Braden Shipley's been going through that same thing at the minor league level. But Craig Counsell has said that's what they want to see from Jimmy Nelson. That's who he is going to be as a major league pitcher. Just get that sinker going, rely on it, and when he does, he can settle into a rhythm and he'll get a lot of ground ball outs. That one's fouled off, and it's 1-2 on Gosselin.
Well, pitching half your games in this ballpark, much like pitching half your games at Chase Field, you're going to have much better success if you can keep the ball on the ground as opposed to relying on fly ball outs to have any kind of success.
And this ballpark has been a good fit for Jimmy Nelson. He's done well here this year. 2.54 ERA and 11 home starts, just 2-4 on the road, where his ERA jumps up over 4.5. He's worked 71 innings at Miller Park this year and given up just 57 hits. The verdict is in, by the way. They have scored that a single for Archie Bradley and another error on Kirk Nieuwenhuis. So that's 4 Milwaukee errors. So the single for Bradley, E9, puts him at second. And a 1-2 count on Gosselin. And there's another strikeout for Nelson. The fastball's in there.
most of the time for an official score, the determining factor on a play like Archie Bradley's is, did the runner stop at first base or was he going to go for second all the way? And we could clearly see Archie was slowing down as he rounded first base. He saw Nieuwenhuis lose the ball, and then he advanced on to second base.
Well, he's still at second with 2 outs for Gene Segura, who singled and scored his first time up, and he dumps that one into right field in front of Nieuwenhuis. Matt Williams going to put the brakes on Archie Bradley, and guess what? He dropped it again. Matt Williams had a big stop sign up, looked out there, saw Nieuwenhuis drop the ball again, and then started waving Archie home. And it's 6-0 Diamondbacks. Oh, the Brewers. This is a mess.
Off the heel of the glove, and then he nearly threw it away at second base. Archie going hard until he looked up, saw Matt Williams with the stop sign, just a little stutter step, and continued on down the line to score the 6th run of the game for the Diamondbacks.
And commit the 5th Brewer error through 1 2/3 innings. The Brewers have as many errors as the Diamondbacks have hits. 5.
Wow.
Here's Goldie, who walked and scored in the first. 2 by VR and 3 by the right fielder, Kurt Nieuwenhuis.
There are everyday right fielders in the major leagues that won't make 3 errors all season.
This is, I don't want to bring up a bad memory for you, but I know they're not all in 1 inning, but he's close to pulling a Brenly.
Anybody can do it in multiple innings.
Yeah.
It really takes an exceptional fielder to make 4 in 1 inning.
Well, let's hope he doesn't hit a walk-off homer.
Ooh.
Wow. 5 Brewers errors, and we're not out of the 2nd inning yet.
I know how I felt that day back in 1986, and right now Kirk Nieuwenhuis and Jonathan VR are saying, don't hit it to me. Please don't hit it to me.
Everyone that Nieuwenhuis has had, the ball was right in front of him.
Yeah.
He just bobbled it. He dropped it trying to pick it up. It wasn't like a tough liner, lost it in the lights, any of those things. The ball's right in front of him every time. Goldie strikes out. That ends the inning. Diamondbacks get 1 more. Brewers commit 2 more errors. It's 6-0 D-backs. For the 2nd inning at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Here at Coors Light, cold hard facts. Most strikeouts by Major League rookies since the end of May. Archie Bradley in the pole position ahead of the Rockies' John Gray.
We'll see Zach Davies starting the game tomorrow for the Milwaukee Brewers.
He'll be up against Robbie Ray. That's a matinee getaway day game here. Jonathan Lucroy, who was up at the plate when, for whatever reason, Jonathan Villar was thrown out trying to steal third to win the bottom of the first, will lead off the bottom of the second. This has not been a fundamentally sound game for the Brewers, either in the field or on the bases. They've committed 5 errors and had 2 runners thrown out on the bases. 1-1 on Lucroy.
They had 2 men on and nobody out in the bottom half of the first inning, and it turned into a 1-2-3 inning.
It sure did. That is weird. Runner thrown out at first and 1 thrown out at third. There's a bouncer to shortstop for Segura. See if Archie can get through this inning and pitch from the windup for a while. That's something he's been looking to accomplish. He'll work to Chris Carter. Carter leads the Brewers in homers and RBIs. He's hitting .219 this year. Singled and walked in last night's game. He drove in a run, scored twice. Carter just 2 for his last 21 up there. He is leading the National League in strikeouts. Fastball's in there for a strike, and it's 1-2. Full count. Archie has walked 1 in the ball game. That was Jeanette in the bottom of the first. Neuenhuis on deck. In the air right field for Yasmani Tomas.
Played perfectly. The rest of the Diamondbacks defenders had a pull shift on, including Chris Owings in center field, but Tomas playing straight up in right and deep. That's right where Carter hit it.
Remember, we talked about this earlier in this series. Weird things happen when Kirk Neuenhuis plays against the Diamondbacks, and we talked about that game last July 12th at Citi Field in New York when he was a Met and hit 3 home runs in that game. Well, here tonight he's already committed 3 errors before his first at bat. That's hard to do, especially for a right fielder. Has that ever happened before?
I don't know.
Wow.
Bizarre. Show up every night, you'll see something you've never seen before.
Kirk Neuenhuis and the Diamondbacks. Funny thing about that game last year for Neuenhuis, he hit 4 home runs for the Mets all season. 3 of them in 1 game against the D-backs. Goldie has that one, and Archie Bradley has a nice, quick, tidy 1-2-3 second inning. We'll head to the third at Miller Park. It's 6-0 Diamondbacks. High-speed highlights presented by Cox. 5 Milwaukee errors in the first 2 innings. 2 by the shortstop, Jonathan Villar. And 3 by the right fielder, Kurt Nieuwenhuis.
I got it. I ain't got it. Boy, this has just been a comedy of errors, no pun intended, here early in the ball game.
And all 3 errors on Nieuwenhuis when he was simply trying to pick the ball up off the ground.
Keep the pressure on. Make them make plays behind you. They've already got the yips, obviously, a little bit in this game. Keep the pressure on.
Wellington Castillo leads off the third. 6-0 Diamondbacks. 6 runs on 5 hits and 5 Milwaukee errors. And it's only the top of the third. Jimmy staying away from the fastball to start this inning off.
Jimmy's going to have to pitch away from contact if his defense continues to kick the ball around the way they have tonight.
Got some defensive changes behind Jimmy. Apparently Craig Counsell trying to motivate some guys defensively. Perez is in at shortstop now for Villar, and Jake Elmore will take over at third as Jimmy Nelson gets his 4th strikeout. So Perez moves from third to short, and Elmore takes over at third base. Yasmani Tomas, a 3-run homer his first time up, his 16th of the year. And it looked a little something like this, a no-doubter out to left center.
He swings at a lot of high pitches, but he really handles the ball down and in well.
-2. The 5 Brewer errors through the first 2 innings of the ball game is a major league high this year. Milwaukee committed 4 errors back on June 15th at San Francisco. So not just a high for the Brewers this year, but for all of baseball. And Jimmy Nelson with 4 strikeouts trying to keep it away from those defenders now. That might be good advice. By the way, the record since 1900 for most errors in one game by one team is 12.
Eek.
Well, that's happened twice, but it's been a while. The 1901 Tigers committed 12 errors in a game, as did the 1903 White Sox. And if you're looking at the expansion era, which is considered after 1961, the record is 8 errors in one game. That was in '72 the Cardinals, and in '74 the Kansas City Royals. One and two on Yasmani Tomas. Well, there it is, a short night for Jonathan Villar. Tomas strikes out. Jimmy Nelson, who we told you is not a strikeout pitcher, but you wouldn't know it since his defense kind of went crazy on him. He has struck out 5 of the last 6 he's faced.
Got to do what you got to do, I guess. Jimmy Nelson has always had the stuff to be more of a strikeout pitcher. It's just a lot easier and keeps the pitch count down when he pitches to early contact. Pounding that strike zone early.
50 pitches, 40 strikes brings up Chris Owings, who grounded out his first time. Jimmy Nelson's high for strikeouts in a game is 9. He's only done it once. That was way back on April 10th, right here at Miller Park against the Astros. You look over his last few games: 3 strikeouts, 2, 4, 1, 2, 2, 1. But already with 5 tonight. And ahead of Chris Owings, 1 and 2. CO 1 for 15 since his return from the DL over the weekend in Cincinnati. Missed 37 games with that plantar fasciitis in his left foot.
And the 1 hit was his first at bat.
First pitch,
first pitch, yeah, back off the disabled list.
That was back on Saturday against Kivas Sampson of the Reds. Well, Jimmy struck out the side. Jimmy's got 6 strikeouts. Diamondbacks lead at 6-0.
As we head to the bottom of the 3rd, Jody Jackson here at Miller Park, and we've got some more good news for you. You know about all the injuries for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Well, the one that impacted this team maybe the most and happened right before the season began was A.J. Pollock's fractured elbow. Well, good news, guys, he's in the cage today and out on the field at Salt River Fields. We were able to get some video of it. You can see it up on FoxSportsArizona.com. And the interview with AJ, he talked about the fact that he feels like he's right there. He feels like he could play right now, but he knows the trainers and coaches have to see some progression, and he knows at some point he'll get the word that he can play in some games. Might be a couple of weeks. It would be in the AZ Rookie League, and then eventually, of course, guys, in the minors. But AJ Pollock, Chip Hale said, I'm smiling today because he knows that AJ could be a couple of weeks before he gets into some of those rehab games.
Hernan Perez flies out to open up the bottom of the 3rd. Boy, when you look at how much the Diamondbacks have missed A.J. Pollock and David Peralta, both guys who finished in the top 10 in the league in hitting last year. It's just, you can't make up for that over this long a period of time.
Yeah, certainly the numbers that they're able to put on the board offensively, and also for AJ, and this is just my own opinion, AJ's got a little edge to him. You know, and this is a team that's kind of been going through the motions from time to time this season, and I think AJ is a guy that would not let that happen if he were in uniform and actively playing.
Well, good little stretch here for Archie Bradley, working out of the windup. He's retired 4 in a row, and he's throwing first pitch strikes. Here's Keon Broxton. And Archie jumps ahead 0-2 on the former Diamondback draftee, Broxton. 134 and a homer. He singled and walked last night. There was also some Zack Greinke news today. And just like the news with A.J. Pollock, that's encouraging. Greinke will make a rehab start in the Arizona Rookie League on Friday. And he'll throw about 60 pitches. After that, he'd be scheduled to throw 80 pitches his next time out. Now, the question is at this point, does he throw those 80 pitches as a Diamondback in the big leagues, or do they have him make one more minor league start before he comes back? First strikeout tonight for Archie Bradley. Jimmy Nelson. 4 for 35 this year. Archie Bradley bidding for his second straight 1-2-3 inning. Archie has pitched into the 7th inning only once all year. That's something he'd really like to change. He spent so much of this year pitching his way out of trouble that it's been 5 or 6 innings and that's it, because he throws so many pitches. But he knows this is a D-backs team that is looking for innings. It's looking for depth, and he's trying to be the guy who can do that. And this is the way to get that done. Oh, he missed with that one. Adrian Johnson not biting back there, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Professional courtesy there. Wellington said, just a glancing blow, no big deal, let's play ball.
Called strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Archie Bradley. He has set down 6 in a row and leads it 6-0. D-backs lead the Brewers 6-0. Hey fans, Zack Greinke bobblehead day is coming up next Saturday, August 6th. The bobblehead was down there earlier in this series, playing catch with Matt Williams. First 20,000 fans to the D-backs game against the Brewers. A 5:10 start will get the bobblehead. That's courtesy of Safeline Auto Glass. Zack Greinke bobblehead day, August 6th at Chase Field. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Go Diamondbacks. They've been going 6-0 as we start the 4th inning. And Jimmy Nelson will face Brandon Drury to lead it off. Brandon grounded out his first time up. Jimmy Nelson has struck out 6 of the last 7 batters he's faced. And he throws strike 1 to Drury. Jimmy Nelson out of Niceville, Florida. That's on the Panhandle near Pensacola. Pitched at the University of Alabama. Brewers got him with a 2nd-round pick in the draft 6 years ago.
You know who else went to Niceville High School?
There's a bunch of baseball players from that area.
Fox sideline reporter Pam Oliver also went to Niceville High. The Eagles.
That's a big high school football area. Just a little bit east of Pensacola. And Pensacola areas where Jay Bell is from, Buck Showalter, Travis Fryman, former Tigers from that area as well.
I had to look it up because I didn't know where Niceville was. You know, I assumed it was one of those cities that are down there in the Florida State League somewhere, you know, close to one of those cities, but it was over there on the Panhandle, as you said, very close to Pensacola.
Yeah, that's Crimson Tide country out there. Niceville, Destin, Pensacola, those great beaches out there. There's a chopper over the head of Nelson. Somebody's going to have to pick this up, and no one will. Well, that was kind of a Scooter Gennett type hit, and Gennett couldn't pick it up.
Quickly ruled an infield hit, taking any doubt away. Yeah, Jimmy just couldn't get his legs underneath him quickly enough to make a leaping attempt on that ball, and once it got out into the middle of the infield, it was going to be a tough play for either Brewer middle infield.
Leadoff man aboard in the 4th, and we'll see if Archie Bradley can move Drury along here. Elmore will come in a bit at 3rd. 60 pitches for Jimmy Nelson, 48 for strikes. Jimmy's throwing strikes. 1-0. Archie singled, scored a run back in that crazy 2nd inning. Already 5 Milwaukee errors. Pops up the bunt, and that's going to get in the seats out of play. 2 by Jonathan Villar and 3 by the right fielder Kurt Nieuwenhuis. Villar has been pulled from the ball game. So his night ended quickly at shortstop. Nieuwenhuis has dropped the ball 3 times, just trying to pick it up. A right fielder in the big leagues who committed 3 errors in 2 innings. Archie squares, can't get the bunt down again. This is some fundamental stuff at which the Diamondbacks have struggled this year, just trying to move that runner along, and you can see Archie getting frustrated with himself up there. Takes a ball. Count is even, 2-2. Carter coming in from first. Jake Elmore from 3rd. Elmore checked in at 3rd when Perez moved to shortstop, replacing Villar, who was pulled from the ball game. Archie again cannot get the bunt down, and he pops it up. Unproductive out number 1. That'll bring up Michael Bourn, the leadoff man tonight. He's 0 for 2. Michael has grounded out, struck out. He's hit safely in 8 of his last 10 games. A couple of hits in this series so far. Jimmy Nelson this year has really improved against left-hand hitters. And Bourne is the only lefty in the Diamondback lineup tonight. Last year, lefties hit .302 against Nelson. This year, that lefty batting average against him has dropped to .227. So that's another area in which he has really improved this year. That's off the glove of Carter. Jeanette is there. Nelson gets to the bag, but Bourne beats it out.
Sure, that'll be ruled an infield hit for Michael Bourne. Diving attempt down there by Chris Carter at first base. Anytime you leave your feet in an attempt to make a play, you're probably going to credit the offense with a base hit. Michael Bourne just wins that foot race with Jimmy Nelson over to the bag. Jimmy not as quick as Michael.
2 on, 1 out for Phil Gosselin. Phil has reached on an error and struck out tonight. Going to give Nelson a chance to catch his breath out there. Lucroy back behind the plate. We're set to go. Phil hits another one out to right field. Nieuwenhuis is there. He gloves that one. Brandon Drury tags up and heads for third. Boy, Phil Gosselin has just been peppering right fielders with balls throughout this road trip.
Yeah, that one hit extremely hard right there. A line drive to Nieuwenhuis. But Brandon Drury got a good read, realized that Nieuwenhuis was going to make the catch, went back and tagged up and moves up to third base.
So the runners are on the corners with 2 outs for Gene Segura, who's batting third tonight. Still no Jake Lamb, so Segura drops into the 3-hole and Goldie bats cleanup. Jake out with that bruise on his left hand, suffered in the last series at Chase Field against Toronto. Drury at third, Bourne at first, 2 outs. Jake, by the way, talked about that injury after the ball game last night. He said it had just gotten to the point that he could tell it's definitely affecting his swing because it hurts. And the only obvious solution was to have someone else in there, get that bruised hand healed up and get back in the lineup. So he was doing some leg work in the weight room today, just trying to give that hand a break and stay sharp. They don't think it's a DL situation. It's a bruise on that left hand. So more likely a 3 or 4 day thing. 2-0 on Segura. Gene Segura already 2 for 2. Now with a 9-game hitting streak, he's hit safely in every game but one since the All-Star break. Michael Bourne takes off for second. And we'll check on Segura.
Looking play right there. Michael Bourne had a huge jump at first base. He was going to steal the base easily. I thought Gene Segura would take that pitch and allow Michael Bourne to get himself into scoring position, but he swung at a fastball way up and in and corkscrewed himself into the ground that time.
If there's one spot where he tends to chase bad pitches, it's that pitch up and in.
Yeah.
He'll sort of get himself all tied up in there sometimes.
Which probably explains why he gets knocked down so many times. Teams trying to go at his weakness.
Ooh, high strike call there from Adrian Johnson. 2-2. Bourne takes off for second again, and again Segura fouls it back. Michael getting too old for this.
Well, the Brewers basically conceding that stolen base right there. Neither middle infielder broke for second base as Michael Bourne was running in that direction. And once again, Jean Segura chasing a high fastball, fouling it out of play. Michael Bourne huffing and puffing on his way back to first.
Pitch count getting up there for Jimmy Nelson now at 73 through 3 2/3. Bourne holds this time, and Segura hits it right at Jeanette. And that'll end the inning. Bottom 4 on the way from Miller Park. It's 6-0 Diamondbacks. Hey fans, nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know and the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason on FS1's new daily sports talk show, Speak for Yourself. It comes your way Wednesdays at 3 o'clock. Jake Elmore leads off the 4th against Archie Bradley, who's retired 6 in a row. First at bat tonight for Elmore, who took over at third base when Eden Perez moved to shortstop. Jonathan Villar was yanked after he committed 2 of Milwaukee's 5 errors so far in the ballgame. 5 Brewer errors in the first 2 innings. 2 by Villar at short and 3 by the right fielder Kirk Nieuwenhuis.
I don't think I've ever seen this on a scorecard before. You look at Phil Gosselin in that first inning. He reached on an E6. He went to third on an E6, and he scored on an E9.
What are you saying?
I've never had 3 errors in one player's box in a box score before. It's amazing.
I need to get somebody going on that. The last time a big league right fielder committed 3 errors in 2 innings. Archie behind on the leadoff man, 3-0. And he walked him. A 4-pitch walk opens up the ball game, and now we're going backwards. Second walk of the ball game issued by Archie. Chip Hale getting on Adrian Johnson a bit, and Archie Bradley wanted that last one, and Wellington Castillo saw that, went out there to calm him down just a bit. Let's refocus here.
Well, unfortunately, many times the umpires call anything close to the plate on the 3-0 count a strike just to keep the at-bat going, and Archie felt that was close enough certainly to get a call on a 3-0 pitch, but Adrian Johnson didn't see it that way.
Scooter Gennett walked his first time up. Archie walked a season high 5 in 5 innings in his previous start. That was the loss last Friday at Cincinnati. So far tonight, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And there's another ball. That's 5 balls in a row to open up the Brewer 4th. And he's right back into the stretch after back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings working from the windup. There's the strike. The main issue for Archie and his occasional struggle with command is not necessarily mechanical, they don't think. Chip Hale and the coaches believe at this point the mechanics are pretty solid. And it might be just not quite having a feel for certain pitches as consistently as he'd like to be, notably that curveball and the changeup. And when he's not throwing those pitches effectively, he's behind in counts, and that's when trouble can start. That's a fair ball. Goldie's got it. And the throw gets behind Segura. Elmore takes off. He's in at third.
That was one of those tweeners. I think Goldie was a little unsure whether to throw to second and get back to the bag for the relay or tag the bag and then throw to second. Kind of an awkward tap of the base with his left foot and then a low throw to Gene Segura. That's going to allow Elmore to move up to third base.
Might be contagious. Ryan Braun. Braun hit a fly ball out to Tomas. His first time up, and Yasmani threw to first, a double off Scooter Gennett. The play was initially ruled safe. Diamondbacks challenged and got that safe call overturned. An error has gone up on the board. Error on the throw by Goldie puts Elmore at third.
Diamondbacks, as you might expect, up 6-0 in the ball game early here, playing their defense back all the way around in the infield. They're willing to concede a run to take an out right here and try to avoid a big inning.
Braun chased one there away. The fastball got him. Third strikeout for Archie.
It's one of those swings as a hitter where you try to foul the ball off. It's too close to take, but not really good enough to put a good swing on. And Braun, all he was trying to do was just get a piece of that one, foul it off to the right side, but came up empty.
Well, if he can get Lucroy here, he can strand Elmore at third. Lucroy grounded out his first time up. And as Bob pointed out, he's got something on his back shoulder that just won't stop itching. It's that right shoulder for Jonathan Lucroy. And count how many times he touches it. Here we go. We have the Lucroy shoulder counter ready to go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The counter can't keep up with him. That's in the seats.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a specific number of times he has to touch that shoulder or whether it just feels better when he pulls those sleeves up high.
He will occasionally double up and go to the left shoulder, but only very occasionally. There's a double. Another one. One more. No, wait, one more. All right, now I'm ready. And he bangs that to center. Chris Owings has got it. What a catch. There's some COD. Chris Owings in center field saves a run for Archie Bradley. Here's another look. He's got it. And we are through 4. Diamondbacks lead the Brewers 6-0.
Base hits, taking advantage of the 5 Brewer errors to put a 6 spot on the board. They lead it 6-0 as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. When the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
D-backs fans, as always, here with us at Miller Park in Milwaukee. The third of a 4-game series here as this road trip continues. Goldie will lead off the 5th against Jimmy Nelson. Goldschmidt, Castillo, Tomas 4, 5, and 6. Goldie has walked, struck out, scored a run, 0 for 1. Diamondbacks halfway through this 10-game road trip, 1-4 so far. 2 more here to play in Milwaukee, then 3 games over the weekend at Dodger Stadium. We'll get another look at Braden Shipley. He'll make his 2nd major league start in that opener in LA on Friday. It's amazing how many curveballs Braden Shipley threw here Monday. It was almost like he was working off the curveball. He's got a good one. We'll get our 2nd look at Braden Shipley on Friday versus LA. That'll be fun. Well, even when Lucroy sets up on the outside corner, he gets down into that little crouch we talked about earlier. He's got this strange ability to shrink himself into a little ball and present that motionless target for the pitcher. Kind of curls up. There's a tapper to third. Elmore barehands it and makes a nice play. On the previous pitch, Bob, Lucroy was in that bowling ball position, his feet together. On that pitch, the feet were spread apart. Now, oftentimes, isn't that how a catcher can maybe give away what pitch is coming?
Absolutely, and it's something some catchers don't even realize they're doing it in anticipation of a breaking ball or a split finger or a changeup, a pitch that might end up in the dirt. they have a tendency to set up wider so they're in a better position to block the ball. If it's a fastball, that's when you get into whatever your most comfortable position is. Curveball here. Since it's the first pitch of the at-bat, it wasn't a two-strike pitch. He just assumed that little small pocket of an area back there behind home plate. Slider away. Once again, gets small.
But the feet are apart. They're not sort of together like they were earlier.
Yeah, with 2 strikes on a hitter, you have to be more prepared to block a ball in the dirt, because if you throw a curveball in the dirt and the batter happens to swing at it, of course, that's strike 3, but he's entitled to run to first base.
Castillo ahead 3-0.
Jonathan Lucroy's name has come up in a lot of trade rumors recently. Brewers obviously in a rebuilding situation, but I think a lot of fans in Milwaukee would really hate to see this guy go.
He has been stuck in one of the most team-friendly deals in baseball, a 5-year, $11 million contract. It ends this season, but there is a $5.25 million team option for next year. He has been the bargain of the decade for a while. Castillo, a 1-out walk, second walk of the ball game issued by Jimmy Nelson.
I guess you could say that Jonathan Lucroy is the Brewers version of Paul Goldschmidt. He's a guy that buys tickets to every ball game for soldiers, shows up at a lot of charity events around the Milwaukee area unannounced. Just a real good representative of the organization and a real good player on top of it.
Well, 2 winters ago, he reportedly went to the Brewers and proposed a contract extension that he said would have kept him in Milwaukee the rest of his career. And then in the spring, the Brewers rejected that, and his status has kind of lingered in a strange place ever since. And there are teams like the Indians or the Mets that are reportedly looking for a frontline starting catcher and have interest in Lucroy. Guy was and has been one of the best catchers in the National League for a while. He was 4th in the NL MVP vote a couple of years ago. He was an all-star this year. 0-1 on Yasmani Tomas.
Well, as we know, that's a position where sometimes you sacrifice the defense for the bat. Other times you'll sacrifice the bat for a good defender behind the plate. But Lucroy gives you a great combination of both.
Yeah, you don't find guys that can do both very often. Not at his level defensively anyway. He's had a good year offensively. He's hitting .300, second on the team in RBIs. 0-2 on Tomas. Drives this one to Neuenhuis in right field at the track. He's got room. No, he's out of room. It's gone. Yasmani Tomas, another multi-home run game on the road. That's number 17. And it's 8-0 Diamondbacks.
Wow, that ball just kept carrying and carrying. Neuenhuis looked like he had a bead on it about the warning track and then ended up right back against the fence as that one sailed over his head and out of here. Breaking ball, outer third of the plate. Tomas barrels it to the opposite field and gets his second home run of the ball game.
Well, Jimmy Nelson left that pitch up just a bit, and he was pretty upset with himself there, watching that carry over the head of Neuenhuis. 5th multi-home run game this year for Yasmani Tomas, all of them on the road. That's another jumbo jack from our friends at Jack in the Box.
Tomas now tied with Goldie for second place on the Diamondbacks in the home run race. Jake Lamb with 21. Yasmani and Goldie both with 17.
Tomas has 9 hits on this road trip. 3 doubles and 4 home runs. Nelson now at 90 pitches, 66 strikes. Bullpen quiet for the Brewers for the moment.
Just as you said, that some bodies started to move around. I don't know if anybody's throwing in earnest yet, but a couple guys starting to move around, stretch a little bit. They can sense what's happening on the mound.
Some jackets and pullovers are coming off, and now somebody will start getting busy again. It's Marinez, who we saw Monday in the opener. 2-2 on Chris Owings. So Tomas tonight, 2 homers, 5 RBIs. Chris chases that one in the dirt. Lucroy completes the strikeout. 7 strikeouts for Nelson, 2 down. There's Brandon Drury. Brandon singled his last time up. The 5 RBIs, a new career high for Yasmani Tomas. His previous high was 4. That came earlier this summer in a game at Coors Field when he homered twice, once in the 7th, once in the 9th inning. A 3-run shot and a solo homer. So another multi-homer game, and now a career high 5 runs batted in for El Tanque, Yasmani Tomas. Tomas, a 2-homer game Sunday in the win at Cincinnati. And now a 2-homer game Wednesday in Milwaukee. Full count, 3-2.
About this, the Cubs have lost the first 2 games of that Crosstown Classic against the White Sox over at the Cell. They moved to Wrigley Field tonight, and Anthony Renato has a no-hitter through 6 for the White Sox.
The LSU kid? Oh, that's the kid they got from the Red Sox.
He was with the Rangers, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check that. Brandon Drury shoots that out to right. It drops in front of Newenice. Brandon Drury second hit tonight. He's 2 for 3. So the Diamondbacks will at least clear the pitcher spot here as Archie Bradley comes up. Anthony Renato, a first-round pick by the Red Sox out of LSU in 2010. Here's Craig Counsell, and looks like Jimmy's done. Jimmy's going to lead the ball game.
Not even going to give Jimmy a chance to get the opposing pitcher out.
Jimmy's out. Diamondbacks have an 8-0 lead in Milwaukee. Back with more after this. lead the Brewers 8-0. And the new pitcher for Milwaukee, the right-hander Jan Marinez. We saw him in the opener Monday here. He worked 1 inning, walked 2, and struck out 3. A 2.79 ERA, his 21st appearance.
Yeah, really could have pitched that entire 8th inning of Game 1 with just a catcher.
Well, the way things have gone tonight for the Brewers defensively, maybe he's the man. Archie Bradley steps in now. 2 outs and Brandon Drury at first. 2 more runs in on another Yasmani Tomas homer, his second of the ballgame.
Look out.
Brandon Drury advances 90 feet. That one was at the head of the opposing pitcher.
Ooh, nice job by Archie.
Well, you just always think back to the Carlos Gonzalez liner at Chase Field last spring. And Archie's done a tremendous job putting that behind him. He doesn't need to think about anything else like that.
Martinez with a lot of tailing, sinking action on that fastball, kind of slings it up there at the plate.
Missed inside that time. That's the thing when you get one of those fastballs at the head, so many hitters say the ball is chasing you.
Yeah.
When it's got that movement on it, it's not as easy. Well, just duck. It's not that simple. The ball is coming at you. It's following you. Archie goes to one knee and strikes out, but Yasmani Tomas now a career high 5 RBIs. He's homered twice in a ball game for the second time on this road trip. And the Diamondbacks, as we head to the home half of the 5th, lead the Brewers 8-0. Air conditioning and plumbing, cool, play the game. Ended the bottom of the 4th. Chris Owings in center field saves a run. That terrific catch off the bat of Jonathan Lucroy came with a runner at third base and got Archie Bradley out of the 4th. And now Archie on to start the 5th. Some COD. That's our Chaz Roberts. Cool, play the game. Chris Carter will lead it off for the Brewers. He flied out his first time up. Carter, Nieuwenhuis, Perez, 5, 6, and 7 in the Milwaukee fifth. Archie Bradley so far has given up only 1 hit. And that was a double by Jonathan Villar to lead off the ball game. He has walked 2, struck out 3. One and 2. Quiet month at the plate for Chris Carter. He's hitting only 172 in July with 3 homers. Who leads the Brewers in home runs and RBIs. He also leads the National League in strikeouts, and that's number 4 for Archie.
Well located fastball right there at the knees on the outside corner. A lot of guys will swing through that pitch. A little late getting back there, partner. The men's restroom here at Miller Park is in Kenosha.
Yeah, it's a sprint. It's got to be about a 100-yard dash. Anytime you see a broadcaster, radio or TV, sprinting through the press box, you'll know what the story is. I thought you went to get another cream puff. I was looking over there behind your monitor. I hope you brought me one, but no, they're all out.
No puffs tonight.
You have a will of iron. Kirk Nieuwenhuis, who has committed somehow 3 errors in right field, and all 3 errors coming in the first 2 innings of the ball game.
Look at that. 4 is his highest for a season.
The funny thing was, again, it wasn't like it was a tricky play or he lost a ball in the sun or it was a tough liner right at him. All 3 balls were right in front of him and he just couldn't simply pick them up.
As you might expect, Nieuwenhuis uses an outfielder's glove. It's much longer, 11.5 to 12 inches long, but it's broken in lengthwise. So occasionally those ground balls that come out there, it's a very thin pocket in that glove, and if you don't get it right in the middle, if it hits off the heel of the glove or near the finger or the thumb of the glove, it's going to get away from you.
Fouls off the 2-2. This was Kirk Nieuwenhuis's first 2 innings after Jonathan Villar committed 2 errors himself at shortstop. That was his second one. There were 2 errors on this one play, and here's Nieuwenhuis's contribution. He bobbles the ball out there. A run comes in. And then he can't pick this one up either. And then the last one was a Segura base hit right at him, and he dropped that one too. Hang with him.
Hang with him is right.
Just kind of wearing it out there. Villar got yanked from the ball game after 2 innings and 2 errors. Craig Counsell pulled his shortstop, but he's left Nieuwenhuis out there to just kind of wear it.
Guessing that the Villar substitution was more a byproduct of his attempt to steal third base with 2 outs in the inning and Jonathan Lucroy at the plate.
Yeah, that didn't really work either. He made the final out of that inning at third base with the cleanup man up there. That's not good. Well, Nieuwenhuis himself, I think it was last night, right? Suddenly took off for third for some unknown reason and was out easily. Full count, 3-2. Yeah, the Brewers in that first inning ran into 2 outs on the bases and then committed 5 errors in the first 2 innings. Hernan Perez, who was at third, moved over to shortstop to replace Villar, and Jake Elmore came in at third. Archie Bradley, back-to-back strikeouts open up the 5th. He's punched out 5 now.
Well, it's a pretty curveball there from Archie that time. Maybe took a little bit off, got bigger break on it. Oh, nicely done, right down. 12-6 curveball.
And that's that feel that Chip Hale was talking about with Archie Bradley. Sometimes when he's not locating as well as you'd like to see him with that changeup or the curveball, it's more of a feel thing rather than a mechanical issue. And the feel certainly looked to be there on that pitch. Here's Perez, who takes strike 1.
Yeah, and you talk to hitters around baseball, and they'll tell you when you're facing a pitcher that will add and subtract on his fastball, add and subtract on his breaking pitches, that makes it doubly tough to make solid contact. See the rotation on the ball. You read slider. You anticipate where that pitch is going to be based on what you've seen before in the ball game, and then maybe he takes a mile or two per hour off of that pitch, and you're going to be out in front, hit an easy ground ball. Those are the guys that are tough to hit.
Well, he's a strike away from punching out the side in order here. It would be his third 1, 2, 3 inning of the ball game. Two and two on Hernan Perez. Brewers have not had a hit since VR's double to lead off the ball game. Bradley has walked 2, struck out 5. There's a broken bat bleeder that dunks into right center field. A base hit for Perez. The second hit for Milwaukee tonight against Archie Bradley. That'll bring up Keon Broxton, who struck out his first time up. Broxton up and down from the minor leagues 4 different times this year, back and forth between Milwaukee and AAA Colorado Springs. He has played in only 30 games all year. Now hitting 132 on the season at this level. He has spent most of the year with Colorado Springs, where there he's hit about 290 with 8 home runs.
That's his kryptonite right there. He has real problems hitting the breaking ball. Struck out twice in the ball game last night, just flailing at breaking pitches.
Fastball missed at the knees, and it's 1-1. There's that curveball. Broxton able to lay off that time. He did not go. Says Chad Whitson at first, and it's 2 balls and a strike on Keon Broxton.
Now the no-hitter and the shutout gone in Chicago. Chris Bryant with a solo home run against Anthony Renato, tying the game up 1-1.
Now Renato, a very promising young pitcher. The Red Sox, the Rangers, now the White Sox. Just traded earlier this year in May from Texas to Chicago. Fastball got it up. This is headed for the right field corner. Tomas. And he's got it. Well, the yard's just a little too big for Keon Broxton. Archie Bradley through 5. Diamondbacks lead at 8-zip.
For the Arizona Diamondbacks, been such a big acquisition for the D-backs. Of course, off of waivers, joining the team on May 15th, but has played almost every day since May 26th. I went to talk to Michael earlier today. He was about to get into the hot tub. He said it's hot tub and then cold tub. He's got to have it every day. He's gotten used to it. He said, look, it's taking swings in the cage and out on the field so important, but he's got to do that hydrotherapy and all of that stuff, guys, even to get out on the field. Taking care of his body, he said, is number one.
Hot tub. Ow! Put my foot in. Water too hot. Michael singled his last time up in there against Jan Marinha to open up the top of the 6th inning. 8-0 Diamondbacks.
It really is the difference is amazing between a young 22, 23, 24-year-old player and a veteran that's been around the block a few times. Ground ball to short. Just in time at first to get Michael Bourn. And a veteran player who's had some dings and some surgeries and, you know, this and that and the other thing. It takes a little bit longer to get ready to play a ball game. You get a 22-year-old, you can wake him up and put him in the batter's box. They're ready to go. A 33-year-old, it might take a little bit longer, but Michael knows how to take care of himself and still runs extremely well.
And he has been playing virtually every single day without a break. Even with Chris Owings back, he's been out there in left field last couple of nights. Here's Phil Gosselin now. Phil 0 for 3 tonight. He's got 3 hits in this series. He doubled in last night's ball game. Bounce to third for Jake Elmore. 2 down.
Hey, D-back season ticket holders, it's almost time to renew your season tickets. Be on the lookout for your renewal that will be arriving via email soon. If you have any questions, call us at 602-514-4444 or log on to dbacks.com/advantage.
Gene Segura, the former Brewer. Couple of singles, a run scored, an RBI tonight. He's 2 for 3.
Seeing a lot of Gene Segura jerseys around the ballpark here. Obviously a very fan-favorite player when he was with the Brewers. As a matter of fact, the guy that threw out the first pitch tonight had on a Gene Segura Brewers jersey.
Parts of 4 seasons in Milwaukee. He was an all-star for the Brewers in 2013. Played like an all-star for the Diamondbacks. There's no doubt about that. He dropped him into the 3-hole with Jake Lamb out. First time all year last night that Gene did not bat leadoff. He doubled walk, scored a run. Tonight, 2 for 3 with a run scored at RBI. All he does is hit. Hernan Perez, 3 ground ball outs in the inning for Jan Marinez. Diamondbacks lead the Brewers 8-0. Sausage race run at full speed. A late break on the inside by Hot Dog. Polish out front, but it's Chorizo and Hot Dog at the wire. What a finish.
Wow. One of the better races we've seen here at Miller Park.
That's too close to call, maybe. I think Chorizo got it by a nose.
Photo finish. Well, it's appropriate that Chorizo wins today.
Why is that?
Because our Geico legacy moment happened in 2006 on this day. Hoping to beef up an already formidable lineup, the Brewers signed Spanish sensation Chorizo to a multi-year contract. So this is his 10th birthday today. He's got to win on his birthday.
Wow, I see what you did there. You really had a theme. It cracks me up. I mean, it's different guys in those suits. Sometimes they'll have guests. I've had friends that have run in that thing, but it's a race, man.
Yeah,
there's no
get after it.
Goofing around. They are all out there on a dead run trying to win that thing. It was indeed a photo finish, I am told. Here is the photo. Chorizo out in front of Hot Dog. Polish, who had the lead at the turn, finishes third by a belly.
Ooh, Hot Dog. Hot Dog. Stay
Hot
up.
Dog is
Stay up.
So a win for Chorizo.
Wow.
The Clements Racing Sausages, a tradition unlike any other here at Miller Park. Jake Elmore, the third baseman.
Some of the ballparks, occasionally when you're down in the clubhouse or, you know, in the bowels of the stadium before the ball game, you'll run into the guys that are actually going to be in a race. They'll tell you who's going to win. That's not the case here.
The integrity of the event remains beyond question. Gene Segura. There's Scooter Gennett with two down. Archie Bradley has pitched a tremendous ball game. So far, he's given up only 2 hits. He's walked 2, struck out 5. And leads at 8-0. Gennett has walked and grounded out 0 for 1. Scooter with a couple of 2-hit games in the series so far. He's homered. He's driven in 4. Had 3 RBIs last night in the ball game. He's got another base hit. He's hit safely now in 6 straight. That'll bring up Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun has hit safely in every game since the All-Star break. He starts tonight with an 11-game hitting streak, but so far against Archie Bradley, 0 for 2.
Lined into that double play to end the first inning, that crazy first inning. VR had doubled to start the ball game. Gennett walked, and then Braun lined into a double play. VR was then caught stealing at third base.
Short hop for Brandon Drury, who scoops it at third and makes a nice throw. Very well played by Brandon Drury. Archie Bradley through 6 with an 8-0 lead. The Brewers 8-0. D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Just download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and D-backs baseball with you wherever you go. Paul Goldschmidt leads off the 7th inning against Jan Marinez. Roof and panels open at Miller Park. Goldie first pitch swing and rolls it into center, a base hit. A leadoff single. That's his 6th hit in the series. All 6 hits are singles. Wellington Castillo has singled, walked, scored twice tonight. Marinez not afraid to work up and in with that fastball. He's missed in there a couple of times tonight. Well, he drives one to center field. And that one hops the wall. Goldie will stop at third. Castillo in at second. And that's his 14th double. Wellington Castillo.
Yeah, well, he's starting to heat up a little bit. Mentioned that ground rule double he hit into the gap in the first inning last night, almost the same place as this one. Boy, that'd be big for the offense if he would start heating it up and driving the ball in the gaps and out of the ballpark. This one short hops the fence, putting Diamondbacks at second and third for Yasmani Tomas.
Yasmani tonight, 2 home runs, his second multi-homer game on this trip, a career-high 5 RBIs. Swing and a miss. He hit one to left center and the other one the other way to right.
The homer to center field in this at bat. This was a long one into the Brewers bullpen out there in left center field, and then took a slider the opposite way and drove it over the fence in right.
A roller to third. Elmore will look Goldie back to the bag. They retire Tomas.
Hey fans, follow Arizona Diamondbacks baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
D-backs fans here with us tonight. Chris Owings 0 for 3. Seo has grounded out, struck out twice. The road record, which has been so good all year for the D-backs, is now right on the precipice. 24-24 for the year on the road. A loss tonight would drop the Diamondbacks below 500 on the road this year. And threatening that, they've jumped out to an 8-0 lead. Owings down 0-2. Popped up, foul ground, first base side. Carter coming in. And he's got it. That'll bring up Brandon Drury. Brandon has singled in his last 2 at-bats. Doesn't matter what the score is, second and third, nobody out. You want to get those runs in. But Tomas has grounded out. Owings pops up. Now here's Drury.
surprised they're pitching to Brandon Drury here with first base open. Drury has 2 hits in the ball game already.
Archie Bradley on deck.
Brandon's made some nice plays down there at third base.
He looks good down there.
Yeah, the one to end the top half of the 6th inning. A tough hop, came in and smothered it and threw on the run to get the final out of the inning.
Third base is his natural position. Went into emergency outfield duty when A.J. Pollock was hurt. He's been out there most of the year. 0-2.
That was one of those 2-cushion bank shots. Got both Lucroy and Adrian Johnson behind the plate. You okay? Yeah, you okay?
Brandon can't hold up. And that's the strikeout. Second and third, no outs. They cannot get the runs in. It stays 8-0. From those 70s teams, the Barrel Man, as they sing Roll Out the Barrel at the 7th inning stretch at Miller Park. Used to be the symbol of County Stadium back in the day. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. A getaway day matinee tomorrow, 11:10 first pitch back home in Arizona. Robbie Ray on the mound for the Diamondbacks against Zach Davies. And hopefully the D-backs, if they can hang on this one tonight, get a split tomorrow and head out to L.A. Archie Bradley has pitched a terrific ball game. 6 scoreless innings. He's given up only 3 hits. He has walked 2, struck out 6. And Jonathan Lucroy leads it off. Archie has pitched into the 7th inning only once all season. And he has pitched a beauty here tonight. He's never really been in trouble except for that first inning when the Brewers ran into 2 outs on the bases and helped him out. Ever since then, he has been terrific. Brewers have had only 3 base runners since that first inning. A walk and 2 singles. One and 2 on Lucroy. Chip Hale is loving this depth from a starting pitcher. Didn't see a lot of that these days. Give that tired bullpen a break.
8 runs from his offense.
Yeah. Lucroy drives that out to center. Long run for CO, and he won't get there. It rolls to the wall. A double for Jonathan Lucroy is 17th.
It looked like CO might have gotten himself into a position to make a diving attempt on this drive to the gap in left center, but just couldn't quite get there in time. It bounces by him all the way to the wall. I think Lucroy was going to get a double either way, and that's all he got.
Lucroy's 3rd hit in the series. He's hit safely in 5 straight games now. He's at 2nd with nobody out for Chris Carter. Archie just over 90 pitches in the ball game. Some stirring in the Diamondback bullpen as Carter gets this one up in the air. Yasmani Tomas in front of the warning track has it. And Lucroy tags and heads for 3rd. Close play in there. Lucroy in safely, 1 away.
Nice try by Yasmani. Unfortunately, that ball hit so high in the air he couldn't really get much momentum to unleash that throw to 3rd base. Kind of landed flat-footed, but still made it a relatively close play.
Well, the whole infield comes to the mound to give Archie a break. He had to get over there and back up 3rd base. And we'll see how they want to work to Kirk Nieuwenhuis. Nieuwenhuis has grounded out, struck out 0 for 2. Fastballs in there for strike 1. Randall Delgado was up and down, got hot 3 different times last night. As early as the 1st inning when Patrick Corbin was in real trouble. Then he came in very late in the ball game. And now he's up and throwing again tonight. 1-1 on Nieuwenhuis. Archie missed, upset with himself that time. 2 balls in a strike. Randall had to come in to finish off that 8th inning when things got away from both Daniel Hudson and Zach Curtis. Threw 5 pitches in the ball game last night. But it's more about the ups and the downs over the course of the ball game. 2-2.
Hey, you think about those relief pitchers, they get to the ballpark, and they're some of the first guys on the field every day. They go down to either the left or right field line, depending on where the dugout is. And they play a little bit of catch, get their arm loose, just see how everything feels, kind of take inventory. And as the game progresses, sometimes they'll come out and play catch with the outfielders between innings. And as you mentioned, sometimes you get up in the 1st, you get up in the 4th, you get up in the 5th, and end up coming into the game in the 6th. That's a lot of wear and tear before you even set foot on the game mound.
The up downs. Makes those 10-game road trips even longer. Boy, really nice if Archie could get through the 7th inning. Lucroy's at 3rd, 1 out, a 2-2 count on Kirk Nieuwenhuis. Fastball missed away, and it's full 3-2. Hernan Perez is on deck. did not go. Jim Wolf says no. A walk to Nieuwenhuis. The third base on balls issued by Archie Bradley. And the Brewers have 2 on and 1 out for Perez, the shortstop. And we're going to get a mound visit from Mike Butcher.
Hey fans, you won't want to miss D-backs Teal Tuesdays in August. You never want to miss Teal Tuesdays, but especially in August, because each Tuesday game next month will feature $1 hot dogs all game long at Chase Field. For tickets, visit dbacks.com.
We'll see if Archie Bradley, who has for the most part not been in trouble all night, can pitch his way out of this one and get through the 7th. Archie right at 100 pitches for the ball game. He's got Lucroy at third, Nieuwenhuis at first, and 1 out. And the batter is Perez. He singled his last time up, 1 for 2. 2 for 11 in the series. Fastball missed, 1-0.
A good location. You're looking for that ground ball right here to possibly get yourself and your team out of this inning with a double play ball. Stay right down there around the knees.
Randall Delgado has stopped throwing down there. He's standing ready to come in. 2-0 pitch. Inside strike call from Adrian Johnson. Perez not thrilled. It's 2-1. Ball hit in the air, deep right field. Tomas has room, and he reaches back, and he's got it. Lucroy will tag and score. Yasmani Tomas, that little nook and cranny in there left him just enough room to reach back over his head and snare that one. The RBI for Perez, and it's 8-1.
That ball hit off the bat of a right-handed batter is always going to have a little bit of slice to it. Yasmani got to the spot and had to reach back to his left right near that notch you talked about. It'll be a sac fly RBI for Perez.
And the batter will be Keon Broxton. Broxton 0 for 2. He has struck out flydown. Broxton, a third-round pick by the Diamondbacks in the 2009 draft out of Santa Fe Community College in Florida. Sold to the Pirates 2 years ago. Pittsburgh dealt him here to Milwaukee last December. Pitcher spot due up next, and the left hand hitting Andy Wilkins is in the on deck circle. He homered here on Monday. Broxton gets this one high in the air to center for Chris Owings. And Archie Bradley gives up a run, but he gets through 7. Diamondbacks lead at 8-1. Up to date with the Diamondbacks this year when they are at home and on the road. Check out Fox Sports Arizona's social media platforms on Facebook, the Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. There you'll find exclusive videos, photos, interviews, game previews, analysis, and interaction you won't find anywhere else. Fox Sports Arizona with the social media. Everybody's on their phones. New pitcher for the Brewers, Michael Blazek, his 34th appearance, an ERA just under 6. He was recalled from AAA Colorado Springs before the ball game today, so he's getting right in there.
Nearly as many walks as strikeouts in his 30 2/3 innings of work, giving up 5 bombs in 30 innings.
Defensive changes behind him. Kirk Nieuwenhuis moves from right field over to center. And Wilkins, who was on deck when Broxton flied out, will take over in right. Wilkins from the same hometown as Archie Bradley, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Here's Mike Freeman, who will hit for Bradley. Trying to get Mike that first big league hit. David Peralta will rejoin the Diamondbacks Friday in LA, so the clock is ticking on the roster spot, one would assume. And Mike so far 0 for 7. 3 strikeouts, a couple of walks. He had a base on balls in the ball game last night. Hit .317 in Reno this year. Just under 90 games. 1-2.
There's a chance that Freeman may have faced Blazek in the Coast League. Blazek pitching in Colorado Springs. Of course, Mike Freeman playing in Reno in AAA.
Called strike 3. Blazek won that one down. That'll bring up Michael Bourne. Michael singled in the 4th. He's 1 for 4. Rockies 3-1 winners in Baltimore today. A lot of early games today in the National League West. A lot of teams traveling right now. Giants lost at home. Reds beat them 2-1. Jay Bruce has homered in 5 consecutive games for Cincinnati. And the Dodgers, losers in LA. The Tampa Bay Rays beat the Dodgers 3-1. Padres 8-4 winners in Toronto. Ground ball to second for Jeanette.
Hey fans, enjoy discounted tickets for all afternoon weekday home games this year. The next 12:40 matinee game is next Wednesday, August 3rd against the Washington Nationals. Get your matinee ticket now at dbacks.com/matinee.
That's the first home stand when we get back from this long road trip. First home series. There's Phil Gosselin now. Games Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday against the Nationals. An off day Thursday, then 3 against these Brewers over the weekend, the 5th, 6th, and 7th. So get your tickets at dbacks.com. We'll see you then. Then it's right back out on the road. We go to New York and Boston.
Kind of an odd stretch of the schedule coming up for the Diamondbacks. We were looking at it before the ball game today. Going that New York Mets, Boston Red Sox trip. Come back home for 3 games against the Mets and then right back out on the road for 4 against the Padres.
2 strikeouts in the inning for Blazek. D-backs lead at 8-1. Terrific start tonight for Archie Bradley. He completed 7 innings, gave up only 1 run on 4 hits, walked 3 and struck out 6.
Yeah, the 3 walks were spread out, 1 in the first, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the 7th. Didn't really give the Brewers any opportunity to mount a big inning against him tonight. Really nice job by Archie Bradley.
Giving the Diamondbacks some length and some innings out there as he completes 7. And hands the ball over to Randall Delgado as we start the bottom of the 8th inning. Andy Wilkins is in there. Saw Randall in the ball game last night. This is your Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change. A 4.20 ERA and 44 appearances, up and down on 3 separate occasions in the bullpen last night. From as early on as the 1st inning and finally came on to finish the 8th. Archie Bradley, a big night out of Broken Arrow High School in Oklahoma. Here's a guy that was a few years ahead of Archie at Broken Arrow High. It's Andy Wilkins. 11 at bats in 12 games with Milwaukee this year. His only hit was a homer in the series opener Monday, his first big league home run. Phil Gosselin has this one. There's Jake Elmore now. Go downstairs to Jody.
From the Jake Elmore fun fact department, guys, the Sun Devil, who's bounced around 8 different organizations, including the Diamondbacks. As an Astro in 2013, he played all 9 positions during that season, including 1 game, 1 night in August against the Rangers, where the catcher was injured. He caught 4 innings, and later in the game, pitched in that game. Guys, just thought you might find that interesting.
Jake Elmore out of ASU, a 34th round draft pick by the Diamondbacks back in 08. He made his big league debut with the Diamondbacks in 2012. As Jody mentioned, he has bounced around since he was a D-back. The Astros, the White Sox, the Athletics, the Reds, the Pirates, the Rays, and now the Brewers. Elmore had a couple of hits and RBIs in the ball game last night. called strike 3. Delgado gets the strikeout, 2 down.
Good breaking ball by Randall Delgado. Drops it right on that outside corner. Well, close enough to the outside corner in an 8-1 ball game in the 8th inning.
Scooter Gennett has walked and singled. He's 1 for 2. Another walk for Scooter Gennett. Not uncommon. He's always been a very aggressive hitter, but he's backed off a bit this year. In fact, he has more than doubled his walk rate from last season. He's already walked twice as more this year than he did all of last season. Pops this one up, very shallow left center. They got this thing surrounded. It'll be Michael Bourne, and Randall Delgado works a 1-2-3 8th inning. 9th inning coming up. It's 8-1 Diamondbacks. Ball game. The Brewers committed 5 errors in the first 2 innings. That resulted in 6 Diamondback runs. Yasmani Tomas, a career-high 5 RBIs, his second multi-home run game on this road trip. And it's 8-1 D-backs as we start the 9th inning. Ramon Flores takes over in left field for Ryan Braun. By the way, our man Jay has come up with a stat of the night.
Okay.
We wondered this back in the 2nd inning. Now keep in mind, Kurt Neuenhuis started the game in right field. He's in center now, but he committed 2 errors. Pardon me, 3 errors in the first 2 innings in right field. That's hard to do in the major leagues. The last right fielder with 3 errors in any 2-inning span, Scott Lusader with the Tigers back in 1989. He had 3 errors in the first inning. Neuenhuis had 3 in the first 2. So something tonight we had not seen since 1989.
Oh, and hats off to Jay. That couldn't have been easy to find.
Oh, nice work. Segura belts this one to left. And that's off the wall. Hit right to Flores, who just checked into the ball game. And Segura is in there with his 3rd hit tonight and his 20th double this year.
You always hope when you have an opportunity to go back and play in a city where you played for a while to have a big series, and Gene is doing everything he can to do just that. Bangs that ball off the Papa John sign out there in left field.
He's hit safely in 9 straight. 5 hits in the series. Goldie has 6 hits, all singles. He has walked and singled tonight. Boy, Blazek has some serious ink on that glove arm.
Matt Latos didn't Major League Baseball for a while make him wear long sleeves to cover up the ink?
He has all kinds of stuff going on, different colors and things, but Blazek's got some work done on that thing. Lorenzen in Cincinnati who we saw over the weekend that had a big fancy biblical quotation tattooed on his arm just like that. Two and two to Goldie. It's a fair ball to third for Elmore. Looks Segura back to the bag, and he throws him out. Jeanette and Segura have been going at it this whole series. Just kind of pushing and shoving in fun with each other. Former middle infield combo for the Brewers. Good night for Wellington Castillo. A single, a double, a walk. He has scored twice, knocked in a run. Oh, and 2.
Partnering out of this day in baseball history for you, I thought was kind of interesting. Back in 1998, minor league game, Arkansas Travelers against the San Antonio team. Tyrone Horn homered for the cycle. Hit a 2-run homer in the first, a grand slam in the second, a solo homer in the fifth, and a 3-run homer in the sixth. That's a good day.
Texas League.
Yeah.
Castillo strikes out. Third strikeout for Blazek. 2 down.
Pretty good slider there from Blazek. Starts it on the outer third, dips down below and out of the strike zone.
Yasmani Tomas. We'll see if Yasmani can have a 3-homer night. A 3-run homer in the first and a 2-run shot in the fifth. His second multi-homer game on this road trip and his 5th this year. Diamondbacks' last 3 home run game, Jason Kubel versus the Astros. A little over 4 years ago. Little roller to shortstop. Hernan Perez has it. They throw out Tomas, and Blazek strands the leadoff double. Bottom 9 coming up. At this point, can the Brewers get as many base hits as they have errors tonight? So far, 4 hits and 5 miscues. Randall Delgado back out there to work the bottom of the 9th inning. Randall a 1-2-3/8 on in relief of Archie Bradley, who was terrific tonight. Archie 1 run on 4 hits in 7. He walked 3, struck out 6. And Ramon Flores will lead off the Brewer 9th. First at bat tonight for Flores, who took over in left field for Ryan Braun. Flores 1 for 3 in Monday's series opener. He walked and singled. He's hitting .212 on the year. Flores only 5 for his last 47 at the plate. That's a tough stretch. Of 106 batting average in his last 15 games. Center field for Owings.
Speaking of errors, on this day in Major League Baseball history, back in 1988, Tommy John made 3 errors on the same play. Wow. Had a comebacker to the mound. He bobbled it. That's 1 error. He picked it up, overthrew first base. That's the 2nd error. And when Dave Winfield picked up the ball in right field and tried to throw it home, Tommy John cut it off and threw it away again.
It's a good thing the surgery went better than that. Jonathan Lucroy doubled and scored the Brewers' only run to lead off the 7th. Five Milwaukee errors in the first 2 innings of the ball game tonight. That'll be the headline. 2 by the shortstop Jonathan Villar and 3 by the right fielder Kirk Nieuwenhuis. So rocket into the seats behind third, and it's 0-2 on Lucroy. Same 2 teams tomorrow, the series finale. It's an 11:10 a.m. start back home in Arizona. Diamondback Live pregame show at 10:30. It's breakfast with the D-backs, Robbie Ray and Zach Davies.
Baseball and bagels. Double plays and donuts.
After that ball game, we're on an airplane headed for LA for 3 against the Dodgers. Braden Shipley will go Friday. And we'll meet David Peralta at Dodger Stadium Friday. The freight train will be back on the tracks for that series, coming off that back injury. He's been playing rehab games with AAA Reno all week long. 1-2 on Lucroy. Another fly ball to center. It'll back up Owings. 2 down. 5 up, 5 down for Randall. And here's Chris Carter. Diamondback Live postgame show follows our ball game. A terrific night for Archie Bradley. Diamondbacks, it wasn't just the errors. They scored 8 runs on 12 hits. Yasmani Tomas, a career high 5 RBIs. He has homered twice. So a lot to talk about. We'll get to it on the Diamondback Live postgame show as soon as this one's done.
And you may remember our key to the ball game tonight. Jimmy's not happy.
Jimmy's down.
Jimmy's way down.
Jimmy's got a bobblehead day coming up this weekend. Left field for Bourne, coming in, and he won't get there. And Chris Carter gets the equalizer. The Brewers now have as many hits as they have errors.
Nice try by Michael Bourne, sinking line drive. Tried to come in and make the diving catch, coming straight in, but literally traps that ball off the turf out there.
Well, here's the big author of some of those Milwaukee miscues. It's Kirk Neuenhuis, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. Last major league right fielder with 3 errors in any 2-inning span, Scott Lusader of the Tigers, back in September of 1989. Fly ball to Bourne in left field at the track. Nice adjustment there by Michael. He's got it, and the Diamondbacks win the ball game. They get their 2nd win on this road trip, and now they're in position to split the 4-game series here with the Brewers tomorrow afternoon. 8-1 your final. Yasmani Tomas, a career high 5 RBIs. He homered twice.
And for the first time in a long time, a Diamondback starting pitcher puts up a 0 in the 1st inning after his team put some runs on the board for him. Nice job by Archie Bradley tonight and the offense.
Archie Bradley 1 run on 4 hits in 7. He had 6 strikeouts. Diamondbacks get 12 hits and 8 runs. They win this one 8-1. And we'll have much more from Milwaukee coming up next on Fox Sports Arizona. The barrel man was ready to go. The Brewers not so much. 5 errors in the first 2 innings. Tomas goes yard not once but twice, and it finishes up an 8-1 Diamondbacks win. We'll have reaction from the clubhouse coming up next on Fox Sports Arizona. It's Diamondbacks Live postgame from Miller Park in Milwaukee. D-backs beat the Brewers 8-1.